Hey guys, so today we're going to do, I guess, a partial teardown of this 4 1/4 Caterpillar. So this is a 3406B. They're mechanical, cam and head. This is what you would have found in, like your Peterbilts and Kenworths, your higher horsepower trucks back in the day. And these were the thing to have until, I guess, the 60 series came out that were electronic. And this was back, late 80s, early 90s. And then they ruined them by putting an electronic rack on the mechanical pump, and then the E model came out, and that's pretty well the best now. So I got this with a couple other engines as a package deal. It was too good to pass up, so I bought them. And this one I already stripped the injection pump off and some of the accessories, just in case this was a lemon, I could turn it into lemonade. Current state, it doesn't turn over. And yeah, I know it's probably sitting on the crank, but when you lift it up and clear everything, it's still frozen. Supposedly this thing has like 150, 160,000 on an end frame. There's no ridge, and I don't know the story, but it got moved outside. It wasn't stored outside, but somebody moved it outside, and I think there's enough flash rusting in those liners that it's got it bound up. I'm hoping anyway. So I guess what I'm gonna do is we'll save this part for last. We'll start at the front and get all this stuff, which I call the hard part, the timing cover, the balancer. We'll pull the cam out of it, work way to the back, get the flywheel housing off, all that, flip it over, and we'll see if it's got spun bearings or if it's just the liners holding it up, because the cranks in these do sometimes bring some money. Depends if you find a guy that wants them. I have a place to go with it, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, I'll go show you what the injection pump and stuff looks like, because it doesn't look big sitting on a trailer, but once you get the stuff off the engine, it actually is pretty big, and it's not as intimidating as you would think it is. So let's go look at the injection pump. I'll show you that stuff, and then we'll get started tearing this down. So here's what's pretty well left. Here's your water outlet. And here's your oil cooler. I think this thing weighs about 50 pounds. Again, it's big. This is my arm. It takes up pretty well my whole arm. One oil filter, one giant filter. And the way it works is you have water coming off of, I think water comes out of here or the block, I don't remember. Flows through it some direction. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Probably not. That's a block heater element, but anyway, it flows through there, and it's oil to water. So oil goes in here, comes out, water flows through here, and that's how it cools it. And then process, it goes down through your oil filter and back out. And this is already sold, but this is the injection pump. And this is a 40 by 48 inch pallet, so that kind of gives you an idea of what its size. It's, like I said, you can't see much. It's full mechanical. There's your, I guess, barrel plunger going to the nozzles. Timing gear. It's pretty big, weighs about 150 pounds. And again, it's longer than my arm. So yeah, that's what makes these things tick, and what makes them reliable is this. I think you can run these with no electricity if you can hold the rack open, because it has an electronic solenoid right there. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, this is what every engine had, some form of this. No electronics. It was the good old days. They didn't get great fuel mileage, and I don't think you get a lot of power. I think now you got to put C15 parts and stuff in those to get lots of reliable power. I could be wrong. These are kind of before my time. Anyway, now that you see, I guess, the size of this and what was on there, we'll go back over there and start tearing it down. So hopefully you can hear me. Well, I guess we'll start by pulling this balancer off, which, looking at it, it's still soft. I I don't know if it was replaced when they did the engine. Supposedly it's got 150 on the end frame, but no paperwork, you know how that goes. But I guess we're about to find out. I've never taken one of these apart. I've only worked on the E model and newer, and that's about it when it comes to Cat. Nice, I didn't know it came off like that. Can't tell if these are Caterpillar bolts. Normally they'll say Cat on the head, but these don't. So I'm guessing I'll just take these bolts off, pull the front of it off, and then hopefully I can get the cam and all that. I don't know if I have to pull the lifters out first. I'm sure I do. I don't know. We'll find out. We're gonna find out together, guys. I'm guessing they're all standard because it's a Cat. I would assume anyway. Not like we're working on a Isuzu or Scania or something like that. Is it this size? It is today. No, it's not. It's this size. I'll need another wrench for that. And I'm just taking bolts off till the cover comes off. I don't have a book for this, so I don't know what I'm doing. Surely it's not that last one left, is it? Maybe so. Let me go get a deal for it. Well, maybe not. I might cheat. I have 2 socket sets. I think I can hang on to it. Let's see. Yep. Got pretty good hand strength. So I don't see any more bolts. Just, you know, right off the bat. So let me go grab a pry bar. Oh, I see a couple over here. Then we'll grab the pry bar. Let's try it. What's holding us up? Something down here. There we go. Better results. There we go. Couldn't tell you what it got stuck on. Uh-oh, did I speak too soon? Yep, I missed a bolt, I think. Yeah, I did. That's weird. Oh, I guess I was bending this with it too. But it sprung right back where it goes, so probably not damaged, and the hole's not damaged. I'm sure there's people out there like, oh, can you build it? You can take them apart. See it on the forums all the time. You always have that one guy like, well, he can take them apart, but I bet he can't build it. Which I can. I've done end frames. End frames are nothing new. Just this engine's new to me. Alright, so here's the inner workings of this beast. So you got like an idler here. I believe that's your cam. This is what you call a bull gear, or at least they do on the 60 series. You got your crank down here. You guys are still on the sand, so it's kind of weird angle. And then you got your oil pump down here. So we're making some progress. I'm trying to figure out what I want to take apart next, or how it comes apart. We may run into the issue of it not coming apart because I can't get it to turn, but I don't know yet. But this thing does look pretty clean. Like I said, I don't know for sure if was in-framed at 150 because, you know, no paperwork, but as clean as this engine is, I would say that would be right, because I've seen some that are just nasty. Like, even my hands, they're dirty, but they're not like stained. I think I'm just gonna undo these and try my luck. We'll see what happens. All right, here we go. Maybe either screwed up the bull gear, or this comes apart. Looks promising. Oh yeah. Look at that. Now whether it's worth something, I don't know. But it's off. And now we can turn the crank and get our stuff out of there. And just for size reference, there's my hand. Pretty big. So we're just gonna turn this. Oh, it turns easy now. So probably have to get these cam keeper bolts out. Get you guys a little closer. So there should be a bolt there. A couple bolts in there. Figure out what's got to come out. Uh-oh. It's not moving anymore. Oh, there we go. So let's get them out of there. And I doubt the cam's just going to come sliding out, but been wrong before. Maybe. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, spoke too soon. All right, so I figured it out. Lifters do have to come out. And the way we do that is apparently just pry it up and they come out. Which I figured that's how they came. And that's all you got. 3406B lifter. have to do that to all of them. Proud of myself, I figured that out all by myself. I know there's one person out there probably that, well, claims I'm a know-it-all. And to be honest, I wish she was right, because I'd have this apart already. It'd be really nice if I knew everything. So, I don't know if you can see, but I'm gonna try to yank them all out. We'll see how it goes, if it goes. I'm trying to get it out without destroying the block. It's kind of in there. Seems like spraying it with ether helps. Of all things. So yeah, that one's kind of swollen in there. This one on number 1. But we get them out, we'll be good. We got them. So yeah, they go up and down that bore. And they're not real rusty. But there was just enough keeping them from coming out. The rollers look actually pretty decent on every one of these. Some slight scoring, but they're not pitted and destroyed like I've seen on like the E model and the C15s. I don't know if these are prone to it. But yeah, so now we can pull the cam out, I think. Let's try it and see. There's things falling in there. Well, I see another problem, possibly. I think something fell in there and is holding us up. So maybe unlike Navistar, which is what I'm used to working on, Caterpillar might have given me a break. I think I can lift up on the cam and pull it out that way, because I put this little inspection port thing there. Pretty handy. I guess they take pride in what they do and cared about the guy working on it. I don't know, I haven't tried it. We're about to find out again. Oh, yep, that's what it's for. Man, God bless Caterpillar, they're great. I'm just walking this right out of there. Or not. Yeah, we are. I just don't want to damage the cam. So I can see where it lines up with the cam bearing there. And right here. I'm sure there's a tool for this. Well, I don't have it. There we go. Okay, yep. The fine folks at Caterpillar did good on this. That's just the dude taking it out. This is struggling a little. Cleared most of it. Let's see if we can lose some fingers. There we go. I think you guys got a shot of my whitey tighties. That's okay. They attract the ladies. That's all that counts. I'm so full of crap, aren't I? So the end's right there. It's just a matter of snaking it through the bearings. Oh, the last one. We're so close, too. The problem is I can't see it. There we go. It's out. So that was a bit of a workout. I don't know if you can see. I'd say this is probably a usable cam. The lobes look all right. It's not all burned up. And there's where it came from. Cam bearings, they looked all right. Got some scratches and stuff, but you know, I don't know how many miles are on the bearings. So tomorrow, because I'm gonna call it a night, it's getting late as you can see. It's pointing west, sun's going down. Tomorrow we'll get this out. Get the flywheel out. Get the housing adapter off. And then we'll flip this thing over. Put it on its side anyway. Knock them out. And we'll get the crank out of it. It's the next day. We're back at it again. And I threw some stuff in the cylinders. It was actually able to get it to turn over. So that's a good sign. It'll make it easier for us to come apart with it. Something I noticed, and I don't know if someone got screwed in the past on this rebuild or a rebuild. So if you see this, it doesn't really have a whole lot of wear in it. It looks decent. But then when you come in here, that one's got some wear to it. It's kind of hard to see. That one's got a lot of wear. So I don't know if someone just replaced this cam bearing and said they did all of them and lied about it, or if that's just how these things naturally wear. Like I said, I've never had one of these old ones apart that has the cam in the block. So, you know, I don't know. I've seen some of the shoddy work some shops do, and it's sad because, you know, guys use this, put their kids through college, pay their house off, stuff like that. And the shops don't care. They're just looking for that cold drink when they get home, slap it together. They don't give a shit. And yeah, I know I talk a lot of shit, but I mean, it's the truth. I've seen it. I've had to clean up behind a lot of other guys' neglect. But the guys that are good are really good, and there's some real good guys out there. I know of a couple of them off the top of my head, but sadly they're the minority. But, you know, first glance, if this were my engine, I'd be pretty mad because in my eyes that shouldn't be, it should look like that. Should have gotten all fixed at the same time. But I could be wrong. But to me, just from the pattern I've seen, they probably just did one, charged them for all of them, and didn't do them. So before we can get to this, I need to pull this timing spacer deal off. And I was wrong about these bolts. These bolts hold this on, so I didn't need to take them off yesterday. But I think once we get that and the pump gear off, which I might just leave it, and then the rear housing, we flip it over and then see if our crank's any good in it. I think it's hung up on those dowels. It is. Try not to bend it. But I think this is pretty resilient. Got one. Shortly have two. There we go. So first we'll start with the flywheel. So I think you can see it. It's like what I was talking about earlier. You see right there, every bolt will have the C in it. And I guess this is their old logo. That's how you know it's a genuine Caterpillar bolt. And you pay dearly for those too. Time for the fun part. Let's see if we hurt ourselves. Nope, went smooth. All right, so I guess we just got to take all these off, pull these out, and hopefully I can get this thing apart without damaging the crankshaft. Now whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know, but let's see. So I decided I probably need to lift this engine up, because when I pull these bolts, I don't want the crankshaft to go down and get scored on something on here. Probably won't, but I don't want to risk it. My setup here could probably be called dumb ways to die, but it works. That's all that matters. Might grab some boards real quick, put it under there, and let it down, and then we'll continue on. Couldn't round up enough boards. Every time you put a board on there, either the engine wants to teeter this way or it crushes the pallet. All we got now is this big thick, I think it's oak. When I got it, I think I was told, hey, I want that back, but yeah, you didn't get it back. Anyway, I'll leave the tractor running for safety, and we'll see if we can get this off of here. Be hard doing it one-handed. Probably could have in-framed this engine, and I thought about it last night. But when I in-frame an engine, I like to put the bolts organized. You know, I'll put them in baggies, mark where they go, clean them before I put them together, and well, as you see, it didn't happen with this engine, but I kind of wish I had. But that's okay. Well, makes a good teardown video. It's real windy, so I can't put you on the tripod. All right. Them out of the way. Oh, almost forgot one. Hiding from us. Looks like everything. Maybe this goes into that. Well, let's hit it with the hammer and see what happens. I don't know what that goes to. Yeah, that was all of them. Trade hands. Oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. There we go. Crank looks good. That's got some wear on it. Looks pretty clean. Still don't know why they took this thing apart. So I'm gonna pull this stuff off. It's only 4 bolts. And we're gonna put it on its side and then see if we can get the crank out of here. So it came down with a bang. That's okay. It looks pretty clean in there. So what we're gonna do, I guess we're gonna pull off the pump and start trying to get these rods out of there. And then we'll pull the mains and see if we can roll that crank out without damaging it. I don't see any bluing or anything to indicate it has an issue. So I don't know why it was pulled or anything. Who knows? I think they used it for parts. Kind of what the theme was in that place, but like I said, no one knows. First things first, we're gonna pull off this oil pump. This will be scrap. I'm not gonna sell a used oil pump with no history. That's just not cool. All right. So let's see if I can get it to turn over. Because I had it rolling over a minute ago. Kind of, sort of. Still no. I also don't have the leverage I had earlier. All right. We'll just do it the hard way, I guess. We'll just take rods off until we find one that let it spin. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it doesn't look bad at all. Not in the least bit. Oh, that's convenient. We may just be pulling the the crank with the rod still in the block. I don't know. Hope not. Try to get you guys a better angle. Again, it's good. So here's how I'm getting these ones that are all stuck up inside there. Got a wobble, an extension, pretty long breaker bar. They shouldn't be torqued so tight that I'll break something. They should just come right off. Just like that. And then we'll run them off with the impact. This one's going to be a difficult one because of the angle. Yep. So I don't know if you can see that real well, but judging by the Cat logo they have on them and everything, I'm going to say these things aren't too terribly old. I'll flip them over, show you what the rods look, or the bearings look like. So far, there's no reason for failure, or why they would have pulled it out of service while they're used. I guess I'll clean them up, but I don't like taking a rag to them. So you have your normal scratching. You know, it could have been from cold starts, where they put it together, dirty oil, who knows. There's no gouges. Every journal looks good. At least from this moment, it looks good. So I'm gonna see, I know the mains are torqued pretty good, but I'm gonna see if I can bust them out with the trusty old Milwaukee. See if I can't roll that crank out, because I'm about to bust the liners out and everything, push them through, and it'll be a lot easier with the crank on. So I forgot to hit play, but the trusty old Milwaukee managed to get these things out, which I figured it would. It was just kind of hard reaching over the trailer doing it. Kind of easier doing it in the truck, but we got them. So I'm gonna kind of clean them up, mark what number they are in order. And they already have the little arrow on them, as you can see. And we'll see, maybe it's got a spun main, I don't know. But I would like to figure out what's wrong with this thing and why it was parted. Okay, I got them marked. Try to keep the bolts with them. Let's see what we have here. Clean. Still good. Good. Slightly scratched up, but not bad. I've seen way worse, and it still run good. Some didn't back these all the way out. That's not good. It's got some wear on it. So I bet it was a little bit lower on the spec for oil pressure. A little better, not much. Time for the final. Not terrible. Okay, so now I'm beginning to have some questions on this rebuild. So you see the rod bearings, they look like they were replaced. You look at the main bearings, you have wear there. I mean, there's nothing, well, this one has some stuff I can catch with my fingernail. They're not terrible, well, they're not great, I'm not gonna lie. But it almost seems like they just kind of threw this engine together. Didn't do the mains, they did the rods and the liners and pistons, I'm assuming. That's what it looks like anyway. But I don't know, they're like patching it for an auction, patching it because they were broke. Maybe there's something about these engines I don't know about them wearing mains. Because I know the mechanical engines, because they don't have torque limiting or anything, your foot does everything. And they put more soot in the oil because they're just dirtier. I know, $500,000 was, when you'd roll bearings into a bearing roll, but, all the engines I've ever torn down and done in-frames on, these would usually be in worse condition than the mains, or they'd be about even. But this kind of looks like they just, did a quickie auction rebuild and threw it together. Could be wrong, but that's just what I'm seeing. So I guess next I'm gonna see if I can roll this crank out of here without destroying it. I know it's heavy and I don't know quite how I'm gonna do it yet. So just a disclaimer, I know there's better ways of doing this. But this is how we're gonna do it today, because I just wanna see if it can be done this way. Brute force. Because I know this thing's very heavy. Oh yeah. I think I can just roll it out on the counterweights and not lose a finger or my breaker bar. Trying to make it come out evenly. They do it in Pakistan, so I don't know why I can't do it here. I've seen it on YouTube. What are we stuck on? And we might not get it out. Oh yeah, here it comes. There we are. So here it is. And there's nothing, I rubbed my fingernail across them. They all look really well, really good. The only one I saw is that one. But you could put some emery cloth on there and clean that right up. I didn't mic it, but I don't think, it's ever been cut. I pulled out, here's your rod bearings. So these are the upper rod bearings. Kind of wonder if this engine didn't like crack ahead and run hot, or run hot and crack ahead. But you can feel some roughness on them. They look like they got kind of hot. The mains, they don't look terrible. They don't look great either. A shot of the other lower mains. So I don't know. I think it had dirty oil and maybe ran hot. And just seeing the condition of some of this stuff, I kind of wonder if this wasn't like in a belly dump or something where, you know, real dusty condition, just abused, driver doesn't give a shit, you know, stuff like that. So next, we're going to try to pop those pistons out of there. And I might leave the liners in it. I don't have a liner puller. I don't know where it went. Used to have one. So I think I knock them from the top. I don't know. We're going to try it. So I tried to knock them out the back, or knock them out with my bottom of my hammer. Was not a great success. Now it's going to make me mad every time I use it because I'm going to get splinters and crap. So I'm going to try to hammer them through with a piece of wood. So that one went through. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. But I can get that one out. This one was stuck. This one's stuck. I'd do better with my left hand. That one's no longer stuck. I don't like going out the bottom. I don't think they're supposed to go out the bottom, to be honest with you. But we're breaking them loose, it's okay. Ooh, that sucks. So not that I was going to use these anyway, because I always change them on an in frame, and I wasn't going to sell them, but the piston cooling nozzles, I know better. You're supposed to take them out and then the whole thing will slide out, but I didn't. That happens sometimes. Luckily, this is my engine, not a customer, but I guess it wouldn't have mattered anyway because I'm not going to reuse them, so we'll pull them out, and then I bet we're successful with the pistons. Like I said, that was a bonehead move. I know better. So I'll just give you a quick explanation how these work. They go into the block, and the bolt isn't tapped like a banjo bolt. I guess the oil flows around these if I remember right. And I'm winded from hitting these things with the hammer. But anyway, oil comes out, and I sit like this. Oil goes in there and squirts in there and helps dissipate the heat off the piston. And these pistons look like brand new, from what I can tell. So I don't know what the deal is with this. Like this one has a little bit of heat marking around it, but you know, they could have had the pump turned up on this thing. There's no telling. But anyway, I got a service call I got to go to. So that'll be it for this. I might try to knock those out, and there's a bunch of usable parts I can sell or use. So yeah, if you remember what we started with less than 12 hours ago, here's where we're at now. I think I have 3 hours into this. Just tearing it down. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. I know this isn't like the conventional method of taking one of these apart, but it's apart. Did it outside. Nice day, so gonna get these things cleaned up and then go on this job, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.